The Lenovo Legion 5 and 7 were some of the most popular gaming laptops of the last few years. This year, Lenovo is back with the updated Lenovo Legion Pro 7i. I have here the 2023 edition with the RTX 4090 capable of 175 watts of power. In addition, better fans, bigger vapor chamber, and improved heat pipe design promise to offer a cooler and quieter gaming experience. Will this device deliver or leave us with empty promises? Let's find out. The Legion Pro 7i comes packing Intel's latest 13th generation Raptor Lake mobile CPU, the i9-13900HX. It's a very popular CPU for 2023, packing 24 cores and 32 threads and boosting up to 5.4 GHz max turbo. The Legion Pro 7i I have here is also configured with 32 GB of dual-channel DDR5 5600 MHz RAM. The Legion Pro 7i I have here also features the NVIDIA RTX 4090 GPU with 16 GB of GDDR6 VRAM, and that's capable of 175 watts max TGP. Also noteworthy here is that display. Simply a stunner if you've got no problems with a smaller 16-inch display. And I want to mention that the port selection and placement is fantastic too, as is the 99 watt-hour battery. In many ways, this machine feels like a fully equipped, top-of-the-line, limited edition model if we were to use cars and trims as an analogy. And speaking of limited editions, not only is Lenovo giving you a fully spec'd out gaming laptop, they tout that the Pro 7i this year is constructed with 50% recycled aluminum for the bottom cover and 30% post-consumer recycled polymers for the top cover. That said, the device feels solid, has little flex, and is densely packed. When you pick up and handle this device for the first time, it inspires confidence. Everything is well appointed too. It does not catch fingerprints or oils as well as some of the others and has a sturdy, if not stiff, hinge to boot. Objectively, in the build quality department, I would give this device an A. The device easily slipped into a standard 15-inch backpack without issue, and at 2.8 kilograms or just slightly over 6 pounds, it's easy enough to carry and be mobile. The port selection and placement is well done too. Beginning with the left-hand side of the device, there is a Thunderbolt 4 port with power delivery and DisplayPort 1.4 output, and a USB Type-A 3.2 Gen 1 port. On the rear, a Lenovo Square Plug AC power port, an additional USB Type-C 3.2 Gen 2 port with DisplayPort 1.4 and power delivery at 140 watts, a pair of USB Type-A 3.2 Gen 1 ports with one always on for charging your devices, and an HDMI 2.1 port, a Gigabit Ethernet RJ45 port, although this year for some reason Lenovo has flipped the Ethernet when in past years it was right side up. Finally, on the right hand side, a headphone microphone combo jack, another USB Type 3.2, USB Type-A 3.2 Gen 1 port, and an electronic camera shutter switch. One thing that Lenovo has done well again this year is the display. At 16 inches and WQXGA resolution, or also commonly known as QHD+, 2560 by 1600 pixels are in order with a 16 by 10 aspect ratio. And the fun continues with 240 Hz refresh rate, 500 nits of brightness, X-Rite color calibration, 100% of DCI-P3 color space coverage, and 3 milliseconds response time. Finally, for the icing on this cake, the G-Sync display comes with Advanced Optimus on board to benefit from switching between the integrated and the dedicated RTX 4090 graphics. Some niceties such as opening the lid to wake are an added bonus. One issue that I have with this display, and this is the fourth Lenovo device where I've experienced this with this QXGA display, is the brightness handling. When turning down the device, the brightness and luminance fall significantly below 70% brightness. An issue I had also pointed out and found very frustrating with the Lenovo IdeaPad 5 Pro as well. As a result, you'll probably be using this device at 70%, 80%, or maybe even close to 100% for regular use, even in fairly low light environments. Lenovo is known for their keyboards and typing experience. That's no different here. The keyboard is a typical smiley style keys affair. It's good for typing, has decent feedback, enough key travel, and is well featured in terms of RGB. When holding down the modifier keys such as Ctrl, Shift, or Alt, the secondary functions are well lit as they should be. Other manufacturers should take note here, as this is the way backlighting for primary and secondary functions should be done on any laptop. Well done, Lenovo. The RGB is pretty good too, with keyboard shortcuts, giving you access to 3 levels of brightness and even more fine gain control through Lenovo Vantage. RGB modes and configurations can also be managed in the Lenovo Vantage software and tweaked to your heart's desire. A pretty good RGB offering, as well as the front light at the bottom of the chassis that reminds me of ground effects on street racers of years past. The trackpad on offer here is pretty solid too. A nice smooth glass surface for mousing and Windows gestures. It's a Windows Precision trackpad with Microsoft drivers and functioned without a hitch. Of course, as with most other Windows laptops and trackpads, I did have an accidental touch leading to activation of the wrong feature or shortcut on occasion. With ever-growing Steam and game libraries, storage capacity is more important than ever. Nice then to see manufacturers bumping up the standard offering to 1 TB, particularly on top models. The Legion Pro 7i comes equipped with a 1 TB PCIe NVMe Gen 4 SSD from Samsung. The drive performs fairly well on read speeds, getting close to the theoretical 7,000 megabytes per second read rate of Gen 4 PCIe SSDs. And the write speeds are decent as well, although better than some of the competitor drives I've seen this year at nearly 5,000 megabytes per second. There is an additional slot available should you wish to upgrade. You can purchase a Gen 4 SSD of the M.2 variety and add up to an additional 4 terabytes of capacity in the second slot. There is no SD card on this device, however, whether the SD standard size or the micro SD variety. Those looking for offloading media or doing photography or video work will need an external USB powered card reader. Including one would have pushed this to the top of the charts for the most well-featured and port-equipped laptop, gaming laptop or not. I mentioned gaming, so let's get to the gaming chops of this sure to be popular laptop for 2023 as well. It should be no surprise then that being powered by the top flagship GPU from NVIDIA this year, the RTX 4090 with 16 gigs of VRAM, the Legion Pro 7i crushes in gaming. Anything you can throw at this GPU, it'll push high frame rates, nearly hitting triple digits in many games old and new at ultra settings. Though there is one caveat to keep in mind here. This is largely aided by the frame generation tech that's been introduced with the RTX 4000 series laptop GPUs, and this feature is currently not supported on the RTX 3000 series, thus big reason to upgrade. Combine that with frame generation and DLSS in quality or other settings, and you have a recipe for success here. This combination essentially doubles frame rates in any game where both of these technologies are supported. Turning off frame generation halves the frame rates. Oh, and if you enable ray tracing, the frame rate tanks further. And last but not least, the promised max TGP and the 175 watts figure. I saw a few games hit this here and there, but never consistently. It did get very close in some games such as Borderlands 3, and even though this is a much older game, it still taxes the GPU heavily with all of the settings turned to their maximum. Connectivity is provided thanks to a gigabit Ethernet port courtesy of Realtek located on the back of the device. Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth 5.3 coverage is provided by Intel's AX211 chipset. Overall, the wireless transfer speeds were fast, peaking at nearly 50 megabytes per second in sustained transfers without any signal interference or other issues. The Bluetooth was also on point without any issues connecting or pairing new devices or maintaining a strong signal even while gaming or doing strenuous activities on the device. Even with multiple devices connected, the Intel AX211 performs well. As is the usual fashion for me, I've done a separate video on my channel that covers the thermal testing, the fan noise, as well as an overview of Lenovo Vantage. That's the control center software that's used to manage performance modes, tuning, and other aspects of getting the most out of this device. Click on the card at the end of this video to jump over and watch my full coverage. Hello, this is a test of the Lenovo Legion Pro 7i for 2023 and the built-in webcam and the microphones on this device. Lenovo states that this has been upgraded to a full HD 1080p webcam. I think the picture quality actually looks decent, much compared to some of the other laptops that I've tested. It's nice and clear, it's bright, and in a low light situation like this, it's handling pretty well without going in and out of focus or things being too dark. The picture is a little grainy around me though, but I've been using this camera in meetings and I haven't gotten any bad comments, or people have commented that, oh, it looks nice, have you upgraded or gotten a new camera? So I guess in that sense, the camera is getting results. And the microphones, there's an array of microphones on here, so you're going to get some clear audio and some level of basically noise cancellation, basic, but at least noise cancellation there, so you can get some clear audio during meetings, and it should be perfectly fine for attending to your work stuff, even doing some Zoom calls, and maybe just hanging out with friends virtually when you're not able to get in touch in person. What do you think of this video quality, and particularly the audio quality? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks. A 99 watt-hour battery keeps the juice flowing away from an AC outlet to the Legion Pro 7i. In my developer workflow and over several days of usage, I saw this device to be impressive, better than any of the other laptops I've tested this year. And this is helped by the smaller 16-inch display consuming less power to yield a fairly good 4.5 to 5 hours of battery life consistently. Quick charging is supported as well, with Lenovo calling this super rapid charge. It gets you 0 to 80% in just 30 minutes or 0 to 100% in 60 minutes. Impressive charging rates, and it handily beats out all the other laptops I've tested this year in terms of charging speed. In addition, USB Type-C charging is also available at power delivery rates of up to 140 watts. At a price of 4,600 Canadian dollars, this is by no means a cheap device. But the performance that I saw from this laptop from both the CPU and the GPU was simply astonishing. And for the first time, you can actually play AAA games in quiet mode at a respectable 60 frames per second. This is no small feat and a tremendous achievement. Of course, if you want to push it to its thermal limits, performance it will deliver. Gaming and editing on this device was a joy, and I had zero issues with the GPU. If you're truly looking for a flagship GPU this year and are willing to spend the money to get it, then there's no better choice than the RTX 4090. And the Legion Pro 7i for 2023 still brings the heat and is an excellent contender for your desk. Aside from nitpicks, I would easily recommend this laptop to those with deep pockets who want the best of the best. For my personal preference, I like bigger displays, and so I'll be sticking to 17 and 18-inch laptop offerings this year. Alright, that'll wrap it up for now. I hope you enjoyed this review. Please like and share this video on your social media, and subscribe to stay up to date for much more content like this in the coming weeks and months. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.